Greetings and welcome to News MTV. Amakanaka Masenyama. Stories making the headlines. Election sabbath proposal should be put to referendum, says Chamisa. In the courts, Mangwana suffers court setback to keep Harare home. In business, Minister Chasi to appoint second ZESA board inside 6 months. In sports, Highlanders thrash Yada in midweek PSL fixture. News in detail. MDC leader Nelson Chamisa says proposals by the Zimbabwe heads of Christian denominations to suspend national elections for 7 years can only be made possible if the country commits the suggestion to a referendum. The church conglomerate last month proposed a halt on elections, claiming that Zimbabwean polls were often divisive and a source of the country's current economic and political problems. The churches called for a unified approach to resolve all the challenges confronting the once prosperous nation. But Chamisa has since responded to Zimbabwe Council of Churches Executive Secretary Kenneth Mtata, saying any decision to put the country's elections on hold would need a buy-in from all Zimbabweans through a referendum. The opposition chief's response is almost similar to that of his rival, President Emerson Minagawas, who has cited the national constitution as the main barrier to the proposal seeing the light of day. MDC Deputy President Tendai Biti has called for President Minagawas' resignation, insisting the current economic mess was testimony to the under-fire leader's failures. Biti was reacting to government's pending introduction of a new family of Zimbabwean banknotes to work in tandem with the RTGS dollar, whose value keeps falling rapidly when compared to the US dollar. Writing on his Twitter on Wednesday, the Harare East MP said Mnangagwa and his government have become a threat to Zimbabwe's sovereignty. Biti argued that the decision to print the new currency was a recipe for disaster, given the economic fundamentals were not yet in place for government to introduce a new currency. Energy Minister Fortune Chasi has announced he will appoint a second Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority board soon, barely 6 months after he sent the last board members packing for alleged incompetence. Speaking at the National Energy Innovation Summit recently, Chasi said a game-changing board will be appointed before year-end. The last ZESA board was fired by Chasi after spending 2 months in office over what he described as failing to appreciate the urgency of the situation the country is facing. Zimbabwe is facing its worst power crisis since independence, with both domestic and industrial consumers having to endure up to 18 hours of load shedding a day. In the courts, ZANU-PF Secretary for Legal Affairs Paul Mangwana and his wife Pauline risk losing their upmarket Harare home after High Court Judge Justice Muzofa dismissed the couple's application to bar the former owners of the property from reclaiming the house. The Mangwana couple bought the house, which belonged to David and Kumbula Chiweza, without their knowledge, prompting the latter to approach the court challenging the move. High Court Judge Justice Clement Piri then reversed Mangwana's claim and allowed the property owners to lodge their objection to the sale in terms of the law. We end with sports. Resurgent Premiership giants Highlanders continued with their fine run of form when they beat Yada by 3-1 in a midweek Casolaga Premier Soccer League clash played at Barberfield Stadium. The victory is a fine boost for the Bulawayo side's prospects of triumph against old rivals Dynamos in a mouth-watering Premiership tie at Rufaro Stadium on Sunday. Dynamos has been less inspiring in recent past, coming up with a string of draws. In the English game, Marvelous Nakamba's test for guts within the world's most popular football arena comes under another test when the Zimbabwean football imports Aston Villa face a ruthless Liverpool in the Carabao Cup quarter-final round. The draw was conducted on Thursday. While Villa sweats it out to stop the English log leaders, Everton and Leicester will lock horns in another all-EPL tie. Champions Manchester City will travel to Oxford United, with Manchester United hosting Colchester United. The games are scheduled to take place starting December 16. Reporting for newzimbabwe.com, I am Makanaka Masengema. For this and more stories, visit our website www.newzimbabwe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Newzim TV.